Hello everyone, I'm Lieutenant Rosa, and you're watching Westville Weekly.
You're a gadget guy, huh? Yeah. I got.
I'm back. Another busy week, Westville. So let's get right to it. We'll start on the 18th. On the 18th, we had a theft from vehicle, and it happened on South Genesee Street. What makes this incident noteworthy is that a firearm was stolen out of the vehicle. The owner parks their vehicle, they come back to the vehicle, and they realize that their handgun was stolen out of the vehicle. The handgun was in a locked container inside of the vehicle. The owner believed that they locked their car doors. However, there was no sign of forced entry into the car. So it leaves us to believe that the vehicle was left unlocked. The owner did go through the vehicle, meaning after theft from vehicle had occurred. They went through the vehicle, touching everything. Again, I say it time and time again, please try not to touch objects in your vehicle after it had been broken into. I can speak from experience. I had my vehicle broken into before in the past, and I know how it feels. You feel victimized and you want to go through your vehicle. Trust me, please try to hold on to your emotion and allow the officer to make that judgment call when they arrive there on the scene. So, bad news on this one is that there is a .380 handgun pistol now on the street. There was no video or anything to the incident, so just be on your P's and Q's, Westville. We have a new handgun now out there on the street. The next incident happened on the 21st, and this one happened on Blake Street. Again, this car was left unlocked. The owner comes back to the car to find a teenage male going through their car. They approach the car. The male takes off running. The male is described as being a teenager wearing a dark gray jacket, black jeans, and dark footwear. What was taken was a black diaper bag, and it had miscellaneous items inside. There's no other evidence on that, nothing else to follow up on that incident. Again, please lock your car doors. Next incident, this happened at Whaley Avenue. That was a Citgo gas station, and this was a stolen car. It happened on the 22nd. You could probably tell what I'm about to say. The car was left unlocked, running with the keys inside. So the owner of the vehicle gets out of the vehicle, goes inside the store, and someone jumps in the car and takes off. Please do not leave your vehicles running at the gas station. And we have another major incident here. This happened on the 23rd, and it was actually a robbery. And it occurred at 1605 Whaley Avenue, and that is at the Regal Inn. This gentleman here goes to meet a young lady at the hotel, and while doing so, he is confronted by two unknown individuals, and they hold him up at gunpoint. They point the gun at him, and they say, "Don't move, or I'll blow your head off." These individuals were hiding in the dark, and our victim didn't see it coming. So, taken was the car in that incident, along with a cell phone, some credit cards, and things of that nature. We're lucky the victim wasn't hurt in any way, shape, or form. Our detectives are following up on that scene. The one thing I could say with this is if it doesn't feel right or it seems too good to be true, it probably is. A lot of people talk about having a sixth sense, and I truly believe it. When the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, most likely it's letting you know it's not a good situation. But the one positive thing is that our victim was not hurt during this incident. So again, I like to end it on a high note. And this past week, 3 of our officers here in Westville were trained to be a fingerprint technician. And what that means is if they go to a scene such as a burglary or a car break-in, they can make the decision right there on the scene whether they can get prints from the car or DNA from the car or anything like that from the vehicle. So hopefully it helps us out in some of our burglaries and some of our thefts. Lastly, I would like to talk about this final incident. On the 20th, our undercover units, our narcotics unit, our intel unit, along with other units, performed a search warrant, and they encountered Terrence Garrison, a Zachary Clark, and a Kristen Meringue. They arrested these individuals for warrant charges, drug charges, and other on-site charges. Again, kudos to our undercover unit performing that and cleaning up the area. However, during that incident, they did encounter a knife. The knife was not used. It was actually a machete, but it just goes to show what our officers can encounter in the city of New Haven. So they must always be on their P's and Q's, and it just shows how our officers are always putting themselves at risk. Thank goodness nothing happened, and it ended up turning out to be a really good job. So I appreciate our detectives for doing that fine work for us. All right, and I guess the knife segue or the machete segue can segue into this bad boy back here. The Marine sword. How did I get it? Most branches of service are issued a sword. They normally come with 2 swords. One would be for NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer, and one for B lieutenants and commissioned officers. If you don't know already, I was in the Army. So then it comes down to the question, why the Marine sword? Simply put, I used it in my wedding. Most military branches execute a wedding and you walk under a stream of swords. So you would have your quote-unquote best men stand in line and they'll put their swords up and you'll walk under a stream of swords. And then at the very end, the last person, which is your best man, will bring down the sword and smack your loved one on the rear and say, welcome to the Army, welcome to the Marine Corps. But the way I did it is from when I was a police officer. Long story short, I went to an Army Navy store to purchase swords. The only swords that they had were Marine swords. So I brought everyone in the wedding party a non-commissioned officer sword, and I had the officer sword. So, neat story, sentimental. Every time I look at it, it reminds me of my wife. Not sure that's a great thing. All right, that about wraps it up. Thank you for watching Westville Weekly. See you next week.